rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new edition of your program Bridges. In this program we are hosting a very interesting person, Dr. Hubert Rampersad. He is a well-known intellectual, a speaker. We will have this very short CV or bio about him, and we will be back. Stay with us before we start chatting and exchanging some talks with him. But before we go into the report, I would like to welcome Mr. Hubert to the program. Mr. Hubert, welcome to the program.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.
Thank you for having me here in your show.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Hubert, let's talk a little bit about yourself. How you got into this business?
I was born in Suriname, South America, Dutch countries, and then I moved to Holland.
Hold on, what is the name of the country?
Suriname.
It's a very small country.
In the Caribbean. Brazil.
It's an island?
No, it's in South America. Okay. It was a Dutch country, and then I moved to the US, to the Netherlands, when I was 12, and there I did my study in mechanical engineering, bachelor, master, PhD in management. And then I saw many challenges executives are facing right now on how to create engagement, a happy workforce, social innovation, how to create what do you call it, integrity, personal integrity as a way of life. There's so much corruption, mismanagement. So I wanted to address that, and also how to develop also personal branding, how to improve yourself and be successful. So in 2006 I launched my first best-selling book, Total Performance Scorecard, and it was published in 22 languages. Also Harvard Business School endorsed it. Then I moved to the US in 2006 and I started my business there. I published many more books, and I was also guest professor at MIT Sloan, and now I'm here.
Interesting. Now, what got you into this? I mean,
as I
the need of, your observations into the job market, people's social life.
Yes.
Or maybe going through because of your academic background.
Yeah, I did some research about why there is so much corruption in businesses, why there is so much mismanagement, why are so many people unhappy. So I discovered that many concepts from the US and UK are not sustainable, not holistic, not authentic. And that's why it is not sustainable. So I wanted to change that. I wanted to help create a change in this process, in this system. So I started to think about that, and that's why I wrote the first best-selling book, Total Performance Scorecard. And that was holistic. It was immediately published in 22 languages. And it was about how to create an environment, a culture, let's say a culture of happiness, a culture of love, a culture of engagement, and how to align that with your own ambition, your own values, your own objective. If it is aligned with the corporate, then you get alignment. And if there is alignment, people will be more engaged, more happy, and the company will make more money because the labor workforce productivity will be much higher. So that was my challenge, to address the challenges large companies globally, also in America and Europe, are facing currently. How to create that environment of integrity. Many concepts failed. Concept about a balanced scorecard, corporate governance, and I wanted to change that because I think I have the solution for that, and that is why I published the books in so many countries and so many languages, and now being endorsed by Harvard and also MIT.
Interesting. Now, Dr. Hubert, who needs your books the most?
The most is actually it starts with the executives, the CEOs, the presidents, the chairmen. It starts there. It starts with awareness there, self-reflection there, and then of course it should be cascaded. We talk about also the middle managers, the operational people, but also students. One of my other books is about personal branding. We will talk about that later. Is for students to study faster, to be more passionate, and to have a dream in life. I will discuss the process of that. So it is actually not only companies but also students. I had guest lectures for Al Faisal University students there, and Prince Sultan University, and many companies here. So it starts there. Not only executives, also students, housewives, everybody. That depends on the system I have used. So the personal branding is for everybody who would like to become successful in life and in business.
Interesting. Dr. Hubert, let's talk a little bit about the fact that actually many businesses have benefited from such books and also motivational speakers like you. Once they realize the need for that, so how did you get contacted? Do you approach people and maybe share some of the issues that they cannot see within, since they are working in the business, or do they feel there is a problem and contact you?
Yes, it is. Look, nowadays, because of the social media, internet, the world has become very small, so you can promote yourself, your books very easily. So I have a global reach. People are emailing me, they are inviting me. Look, here I have been invited by my good friend Yassi, and now I'm here. I was in India last month to deliver a keynote also for IBM and also from other companies. I was in Dubai, now I'm here. So there is a movement going on now. There's a movement of we are now in an individual age. We are now in an age of internet, online age. So people are now aware that they must become aware that they are a brand. They need to take the responsibility to develop themselves. So that's why I'm getting many feedback, many responses, invitations all over the world to come and speak because of that movement of becoming aware of yourself and becoming the CEO of your life.
Interesting. Now, Dr. Hubert, let's talk a little bit about your main, let's say, theory that you're trying to maybe convey to the business community.
Yes, I have some. I developed 5 brands. The main one is 5 best-selling books, and maybe you can see it on the screen if you can show it. It started with the Total Performance Scorecard: How to Create a Sustainable, Authentic Change in Companies. So it's a journey toward sustainable change and a high-performance ethical culture. So that is the one thing. The other concept which I have developed is authentic personal branding. That means everybody is a personal brand. So I have developed a model for that, and that model we will like to discuss here in your show. And it starts with your dreams, your values, make it concrete, and then make it a reality. And the latest one is about authentic governance. That is a new book I have launched. It was published about 3 weeks ago in America and Europe. Authentic governance.
Okay.
Yeah, that is that's why I'm here to launch it here. And it's about a new way of governance, because there is so much mismanagement, so much financial failures in the world because of the fact that they don't.
Dr. Hubert, before we go to this, I would like to finish your point. But we'll go for a report about Dr. Hubert. I will be back. Stay with us.
Professor Hubert Rampersad, PhD, MSc, BSc, is a Dutch national and international leading authority on corporate governance, leadership, human performance management, and change management. He holds a PhD in management, a MSc in innovation, and BSc in mechanical engineering from leading accredited universities in the Netherlands. He is chairman of the Authentic Governance Institute in Florida, United States of America, and the prominent author of the best-selling books Total Performance Scorecard: Refining Management to Achieve Performance with Integrity, Personal Balance Scorecard, the way to individual happiness, personal integrity, and organizational effectiveness. TPS Lean Six Sigma, linking human capital to Lean Six Sigma, a new blueprint for creating high-performance companies. Authentic personal branding, a new blueprint for building and aligning your brand, and be the CEO of your life. The ultimate authentic personal branding formula for standing out for the crowd. And the authentic governance, which have been published in 20 languages and endorsed by leading professors at Harvard Business School, MIT, and the Yale School of Management. He was featured in Fortune magazine and Business Week. He was guest professor at MIT Sloan. Dr. Rampersad has conducted presentations, workshops, and seminars for leading companies, such as Nokia, Philips Electronics, Lucent Technology, Ibn Amr Bank, Shell Oil Company, SABIC, and Dubai World.
Welcome back. You have been watching your program Bridges, and our guest tonight is Dr. Hubert Rampersad. Dr. Hubert, welcome back.
Assalamu alaikum. Yes, again.
Okay, Dr. Hubert, let's finish your point about what we have started before the report.
So there is so much, failures, bankruptcy, banks, you know the stories. So violation of corporate governance rules, because of you cannot manage governance, you cannot create an ethical environment and ethical culture based only on rules and guidelines and procedures. It should be a way of life. You need to create a climate of integrity. So it starts with a self-reflection. It starts with ethical based leadership. That is the starting point. There is self-reflection of executives about their values, and make that concrete and coach them. Coach the chairman, the CEO, the managers, also the employees, to develop the self-responsibility, align their ambition, their values with their action, and coach them. So that is, I have developed a system to create a sustainable corporate governance, good governance. So that means it starts with self-knowledge, it starts with self-reflection, it starts with how to create integrity, make it a routine, make it a way of life in a company. And that way you will see that governance, good governance, ethical business will be sustainable. Right now it is not globally. It is not in America, not in Europe, also not in the Gulf. So what I'm trying to do is with this new concept is a holistic, authentic concept to make it measurable and to make it authentic, and that means make it sustainable. And because again there is so much mismanagement, so much corruption, so much unethical behavior. So you cannot manage that with only rules and guidelines. Of course you need the rules and guidelines, and the procedures, but you need to align that with that culture of integrity. And if you don't start with personal integrity, it will never be sustainable. So that is the system which I have developed. The process is this: it starts with how to develop your personal leadership skills, authentic leadership, and then make it a reality with the process. And then the next step is how to align that with yourself to create personal integrity, and it starts here, and then make it a routine, and then you implement it and align that. That's the process which I have developed. That's the theory what I have developed, and now is being launched globally, and I'm here to share that also with executives here. And the nice thing is it was forwarded by the forward has been written by the governor of Sama, that is Dr. Fahad
Al-Mubarak.
Al-Mubarak. And I have conducted keynotes for Sama, Sagya, also for SABIC, and Al Faisal University students, and also for Prince Sultan. And I noticed that they understand, hey, this is something new, this is unique, this is more sustainable, and that's what I'm doing here. So that is the authentic governance. Then I have the other one, the concept about personal branding, and I hope we can talk about it also later, is how to develop your personal brand and become a strong personal brand and manage yourself like a business. Because again, the world is changing. We are now in individual age. That means you need to take responsibility about your own life. You cannot blame others for your own failures. So take the responsibility, be the CEO of your life, and attract success. Success will not come to you. You should go to success based on a strong, authentic, personal brand. And that's the process I have developed. It's all coaching process also, to be more unique, distinguish yourself from the rest. What makes you special, unique, and different? And how do you, based on that, make a difference in life? That is what I have developed in my other book about authentic personal branding.
Interesting. Now, Dr. Hubert, governance, it's a new actually term that have been introduced into the business community. Not new, but fairly new, which means in Arabic, hawkama. My question, why this concept have been actually, let's say, focused on by many private sector companies, governmental bodies, and does it have anything to do with the, let's say, corruption, as you said, integrity, or it has to do with basically enhancing the performance of governmental bodies and private sectors?
Yes, a very good question. Exactly, that is what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on having, developing a high performance culture, but it should be sustainable. In order to let it be sustainable, it should start with personal integrity. And especially now here in Saudi Arabia, many companies, family companies, are going IPO, and the shift from government companies to private.
Privatizing
yes,
companies
privatizing.
with the initial public offering,
exactly.
IPO.
And especially because of that, and I think also the government, the central bank, is also supporting that process. Especially now in Saudi, you need to have these rules and guidelines in place, the corporate governance rules and guidelines. But don't make the same mistakes as they made in Europe and the US. Enron had also the corporate governance code of ethics and all these things. It doesn't work. It should start again with your personal integrity, the way of life, and align that. So the timing for my visit here in Riyadh is right, because many companies are now in that process in order to prevent the financial failures and all these problems caused by unethical behavior globally. So, and now I'm coming with a process how to make it more sustainable, and the process is this. It starts with how to, again, to self-reflect on your behavior, self-reflection based on your values, become a strong, authentic leader, and act as a role model, and then translate that into your behavior. And then you will see, if you link that to corporate governance and you cascade it on all levels, you will see that it will be more sustainable. But again, the timing here to launch this book is right, because many Saudi companies are now making the shift to private business and IPO, and for that you need this.
Interesting. Now, Dr. Hubert, the fact that companies wish to have the governance, how they go about the best to optimize and implement such concept within their business?
Yes. Khaled, that's good that you're asking me this, because what is now the process to have a sustainable, good governance system in your company? There is a step, and maybe we can show the model on the screen. There are some steps. There's a process. Actually, Khaled, it's a journey. It's a journey towards a high-performance ethical culture, and it starts again with how to develop the leadership skills to become authentic, an authentic leader, an ethical leader. It is about value-based leadership. So reflect on your values and embed that in your personal ambition. Write it down and make it concrete. That is the first step in that process, in that journey towards sustainable governance, good governance. That's the first step. And then you have another step is, okay, how you are, if you have developed your leadership skills, the next step is how to make integrity a way of life here, a routine, to act routinely in an ethical way. And that is by aligning, matching your behavior, your values with your action, in order not to act against your conflict, not to act against your conscience. So that is the alignment process. And then you go to the company part. That is step number 3. And that is, start with your ambition. Start with your corporate ambition. Write it down, your mission, vision, and core values, and then make it a concrete. Translate that with KPIs into a scorecard, a well-balanced action plan. And one of the strategies in that process is corporate governance. The rules and the regulations and the guidelines and the responsibilities of the board and the HR and on the performance, the payment, all these things. So this is how you align that. And the last step, step number 4 in this whole model, in this whole process, is how to align, match your ambition, your values, your goals with your corporate goals. And that process is what right now many companies in the world are looking for. How to create more engagement. Engagement is disengagement of employees is a world epidemic right now. People are not engaged. Because of that, you see so many losses. The biggest race right now in companies is people are not happy. And if you measure that, you will find out, Khaled, you will find out, if Saudi companies measure that, they will find out that the biggest financial waste in their companies is people. People who are drinking tea, not engaged, not happy. And in America, the financial waste in America is about 350 billion US dollar. They are losing because of a low labor productivity, workforce productivity, because of the fact that almost 53% of the American workforce is not happy. But actually, Khaled, the problem is worse. About 759 billion US dollar losses in business society that are paying salaries to people from which they don't get any benefit. Why? That's the step number 4. That is the alignment between their ambition and the corporate ambition. So that is what I am focusing on. How to create an environment of ethical leadership, this integrity, working smarter instead of harder. Innovation starts with social, personal innovation, and high performance, and working smarter, and that means also engagement. How to engage people's ambition with the corporate. So you will work much better, you make more money. And by the way, in my approach, it is people number 1, so employees number 1, a customer number 2, and actually you can say society number 3, and shareholders is number 4. When you see based on research, Harvard Business School did some research about that, and they found out that if employees are number 1, and the company is making 3 times have a higher performance. So
how you make them happy? What is the
exactly, Khaled. Now you are coming to the point. That is a step number 4 in that whole process. You will make them happy if their ambition, their objectives is in line with the corporate objective, and you align that. So that means you need to coach them, you need to guide them, and have that ambition meeting in the company.
Give them bonuses based on production?
No way. If money is the glue to keep you there, it's not sustainable. Because if you get $10 more in the other company, you will leave. And I have invested in you, So it's not sustainable money. there are other things to keep them on board and keep them happy.
Such as?
And that is many companies, research shows in America, in Europe, in Brazil, Russia,
Middle East.
That in Middle East, I'm not sure, but in all these countries, research show that people, why they are leaving and staying in a company, is main thing is...
And not only leaving or staying, once they say also, and this is, maybe you could find it in the Middle East, once they if they are staying, how they produce better, how they let's say have a better production in their work.
Yes, a higher workforce productivity. That is what we need. So they say, look, I want challenges in my work. I want to be more engaged. I want more respect from my manager. Many managers, they cannot coach, as you know. They have problem with that. There is no trust. So the main thing, how do you create trust? Again, that is in that whole model, in that process. How to keep them happy and engaged that is what I have developed. That is also in this concept, in this whole model, how to keep them engaged and happy, and the company will benefit from that. Look, if your employees are not happy, your customer will not be happy. And if your customers are not happy, the shareholders will not be happy. So the shareholders will win, because the shareholders want to make more money, and they will make more money if the employees will work smarter and be happy, because the customers will be happy. So that's the thing. So we need to change that. That is what I am trying to do here and in my books globally, to make people, to create that environment of love, that environment of happiness, environment of performance, environment of integrity, and that makes it sustainable. So that is the process which I'm launching globally with my best-selling books. And that's why Harvard Business School and MIT Sloan endorse it, and they love it.
Interesting. Do we have a report? I'm not sure if we have okay, let's watch another report and we'll be back. Stay with us. You have been watching your program, Bridges. Welcome back. You have been watching your program Bridges, and we are joined by Dr. Hubert. I'm struggling with the last name.
Rampersad.
Rampersad. Dr. Hubert, let's finish your point, which is motivating the employees to improve the productivity.
Yes, this is Khaled, this is a hot item globally. Microsoft, IBM, Ford Motor Company, Google, they are all trying to invest in people now. They have seen that you cannot manage your business in an old-fashioned anymore, just giving order. You cannot create an atmosphere of fear. It should be an atmosphere of trust. The key word is now, how do you create trust in a company? And that is what I focus on. And that trust you will create if your personal value will be aligned with the corporate, and how do you do the whole process? Again, if you can see on the screen, you can see the model. It's a step-by-step approach. It's a very engineering approach, because I'm an engineer. I want to make everything measurable. I hate cloudy things. It should be measurable, authentic, holistic, and it should be concrete. And that is what I am launching here. Again, a system to align your personal values, your personal objective with the corporate. And it is a lot of coaching, a lot of guidance, listening, respect. So that means you need to have a different way of leadership. Okay? We'll talk about global leadership later, but you need a different way of leading and guiding and coaching people. I have a coaching system, how to coach them, and you see results in 2 months, not in 2 years or 20 years. You see, because it is measurable. So that means, again, you need to start with them, coaching them, guiding them, get them on track. Also the leaders, start with the leaders, with executives, and then you translate it to the corporate, and then you do the alignment, the last step, matching. Because the reason why people are not happy and engaged is globally is because people's own ambition is not in line with the corporate. And you cannot keep them there just with money. Money cannot be the glue to keep you on board, because then it's not sustainable. And by the way, Khaled, this concept fits to your culture, your Arabic culture. It's just like in Brazil. In Brazil, you see, they focus more on people. It's more on emotions, passion, emotional intelligence, values. That's why you see many concepts copied from US and UK dropped here in Saudi Arabia. Doesn't work. You can check why. Because it doesn't fit to your culture. And your culture is also just like in Brazil. It is about values, emotion, passion. And that means you need to embed that in this strategy, in the system. Then it will be sustainable. I delivered a workshop for Al Faisal MBA students about sustainable change in this corporate change and cultural change.
You speaking very broadly and generally. We need examples.
Yeah.
We need some, let's say, well-focused points that bosses, CEOs can take to motivate their Or are you going to charge for that?
No.
Just give us some, not all.
Look, I've given you the process. Look, I can give examples here, but it's not wise to mention names. But again,
no names. I mean.
No names. So look, I have experienced many companies. For example, let's say an example in Holland. People did not trust, they did not communicate with executives. Executives, very arrogant, don't communicate, don't respect, don't care. So that's why you got a culture of fear and distrust. And where there is fear and distrust, there is no learning. You will not create a learning organization. And that's why the productivity there was very low, the labor, the workforce productivity. What I did is I started with the executives. I started with the top CEO to coach him, to guide him, to make him aware about himself. Many CEOs and top executives, they are not aware about themselves, no self-knowledge, and that's why no self-learning. It starts with that. So I started with the company with the change in the top to make them aware about ethical leadership, global leadership with a global mindset. And then cascaded, translated that on all levels, on department level, trained the managers, the middle managers, how to coach and guide their employees, and then also went to translate that into the talent management process, because that should be embedded. That new way of life should be embedded in an effective talent management. That means you need to coach also the employees with that. So it is a top-down approach, but also a bottom-up. Starts with the top, self-awareness, leadership development, coaching, and cascading. At the same time, you should also do that for your corporate strategy. So start with the corporate, let's say the corporate balance scorecard in my way. So and then you translate that, cascading at that on level till the talent management, the HR system. So in that way, you will create a culture of trust, a culture of performance. And by the way, on all levels, you do the alignment. You do the matching your values, your objective with the corporate objective. And that's the role of leaders. Leaders, managers, executives, they have a new role now. You cannot manage your business in old fashion anymore if you want to make more money, to have a higher performance. You need to have the ability and the skills to listen, to coach, to guide, to respect. And that way you will get the sustainable change. Because the culture of a company is being affected by the performance and the skills and the behavior of a leader. That's why I always start with a leadership program. And I have a leadership program for that. And that is measurable. We start with the values, we start with the dreams. If you dream big, you become big. If you dream small, you stay small. So we start with that, and then make it a reality with a personal balance scorecard system which I have developed. They manage themselves like a business with that system. And you will see that you will be more result-oriented, you will be managing your time, you will be more proactive, and you will have plenty time for other things, and you will create also work-life balance. Because if you are a workaholic and if you are not a good father, you cannot be a good manager. So your private life, home, should be in balance. You have one life, it should be managed your whole life. So it should be a holistic approach. And then you will see results in your company, but also in your private life, because it's one.
Interesting. Now, how about you mentioned the cultural aspect of solutions. Obviously, is a management solution in Brazil, Sao Paulo does not fit maybe one in Washington DC or Riyadh for this matter.
Yes.
Now, how important is for you as an international speaker to know a little more about different cultures? Though you have a unique actually mix. I mean, you were born in South America. You're Dutch citizen now. You have a Pakistani wife, as I understand. So a very actually very interesting mosaic.
Yes, I live in America. I also am I'm professor also in Russia, and I have students in Pakistan, in Kazakhstan, in Singapore, and China. So the world is small now.
You're all over. But I mean, do you, once during your stay, do you get to learn about the culture?
Yes.
Do, for example, the officials at companies or governments share with you some cultural, let's say, alerts, so you become aware of them?
Yes, yes, very important. Look, before I came here, I went here 3 times now. I know the culture here. I went also to the mosque, and I read also the Holy Quran many times. I got the English version, and I see that it fits. My system fits here in the culture, because I start with, if you want to change your company, start with yourself. That means you need to change what is in your heart. If you need to change yourself first before you change your company. So that's why I start with the process of self-reflection and personal change, and then translate that in all levels. If I compare again, if I see the culture here, it is more about values, it's more about passion, it's more about emotional intelligence than only the left side of your brains. And the left side is about figures, about but the right side is about values, emotions, and it's about creativity. So you need to balance both, and that's why it's fit to the culture here, because here it is the people aspect is very important. Otherwise, it will fail. And again, right now, especially big companies, they should have leaders with a global mindset to handle the complexity, because the world is complex now. Especially a company like Sabic, operating globally, the manager should be have a global mindset. That means they need to know the culture. They need to manage themselves like a business. They need to be aware about themselves. The self-reflection is very important. And manage yourself like a business. Become a strong brand. And that means you need to make the emotional connection with the people and your clients. And how do you make the emotional connection? You make the emotional connection if you are a strong personal brand based on your self-knowledge and your values. And then how to communicate effectively with the community. That means also you need to, I have launched a learning cycle for that. After you have developed your ambition, you need to make it a reality. That means you need to manage yourself. And that cycle is plan, deploy, act, challenge. You need to take a new challenge. So plan your life, and then you have deploy, start small, improve yourself, learn about the society, learn about the different cultures and the behaviors and the customer. And then the next step is make it act. That means take the responsibility to change. You should take the responsibility. Don't wait for others. So change. So be committed to change your life. So that means in that stage you need to learn a lot about the cultures in the different countries. Before I go to a country, I know about, hey, what is the behavior, what is the cultures and the laws and all these things. And the last step in that cycle is challenge. You need to take a new challenge after you have realized that, because life is a challenge, a step-by-step increase of awareness, happiness, creativity, and then you will become in flow. Flow is a situation where everything will go automatically good. So that's the process, and the cultural aspect, what you just mentioned, is very important. Otherwise it will fail. That's why you see so many management concepts failed completely here, because of the cultural aspect.
Interesting. Now, Doctor, I think we have one more report, Badr. Can we watch it, Abdul Malik? Okay, we'll watch the report. I will be back. Stay with us. You have been watching your program, Bridges.
Your personal brand should emerge from your search for your identity and meaning in life. The more you strengthen and cultivate your corporate brand, the more successful your company will be. Harmony between employees' personal brand and employees' behavior, the result will be improved personal integrity and clarity.
Welcome back. I've been watching your program Bridges, and we are watching, actually we're joined by Dr. Hubert. Dr. Hubert, let's talk a little bit about the family business. Obviously it's a big thing in the Middle East because of, let's say, the culture again and the social life in the Middle East, and particularly in the Arab world. We do have many business that is run by family members, but after the dean, or let's say the big figure of the family dies, we do have issues. Sometimes the business would suffer, and at the end of the day it may just disappear. What is your, maybe some of the your thoughts? And
yes, I have developed a new program for that. Is how to enhance the performance and the continuity of family business, because we have seen here in the Gulf about 83% of companies here are family businesses, and if you take a look at Saudi Arabia, their impact on the GDP here is about I think 22 to 30%. So family businesses are very important for the economy of Saudi Arabia. And yes, you're right. What I have seen, based also on my research, is that many family companies, they are not many, but they are family companies who have issues, problems about their continuity, because if the founder dies, and then the siblings, they have problems and fighting, and so I came with a program to create that environment of harmony and environment of trust and engagement. And by the way, there is also another problem with family companies. You see that the second, almost I think 40%, I think, are being run by the second generation, and almost 8%, I believe, or 18 by the third generation, and the fourth generation is actually not interested to run the company. So you have a succession problem also. So what is my solution for this? What is my system, what I have developed for this? And that's what I partly discussed already in this show, is why don't we have a family ambition, family charter, family ambition, define that. So you have three elements. You have the family ambition, your family mission, vision, and core values, and the family business with the same thing for the company, for the family companies. And the third one here is the family member ambition. And then you align all these three. If you align this, the family charter, the family ambition with the family business ambition, and with the family member, individual member ambition, you have three alignments, and then you will see, you will create that environment of trust, that environment of harmony, the environment of love, and the environment of more integrity. And then you will see, you will bring them together. And if you coach let's say the fourth generation with the system, the coaching system I've just discussed, coach them, make them aware about that, and then you will see you can empower them to stay in the business and take over. So that is what I have, and it's a very major issue here in Saudi, but also in the Gulf, but it's a main issue here. And I think I have a very good solution for this, to strengthen the competitiveness and the continuity of family businesses. It's very important for the Saudi economy, and it starts. If you want to make it sustainable, to want to change sustainable, then you should do it in this way with the three alignments. And I would love to share that with people who are interested, because it will help.
Interesting. How about entrepreneurship? We have actually a conference that's coming up this coming Sunday in Riyadh, by Glow Work, about basically helping females here in the kingdom to find a job and connect them with the employers.
By the way, my workshop at Al Faisal University, but also last year at Qasim University, we had also many females there, and they love the program, especially for females, how to develop female entrepreneurial leadership. If you want to become a strong, successful businesswoman, it starts with your dreams and your values. It starts with your vision. It starts with communicating with that effectively. It starts also with position yourself strongly, just like Oprah Winfrey. It started with her dream, female empowerment, about 40 years ago, and then communicating that effectively and position yourself strongly, and not with social media. It's not only having a nice account on Twitter and then you are a strong brand. It's more than that. It starts with your dream. It starts with translating your dream into action. Communicate yourself, position yourself strongly, and main thing in this process is how to focus in life. You need to focus. You need to specialize yourself and become the best in your field. Try to become the best in your field. And then position yourself strongly. And that is the authentic personal branding concept which I've launched. And actually, almost 60-70% of my clients are females abroad. They love the program. You see them change. You see them make more money. You see them become more successful. Because especially for females, they need to be more, self-trust. They need to develop their self-trust. They need to be more proactive. They need to position themselves, and they need to communicate effectively. And that system, especially for females, very, very important to become a successful businesswoman. And entrepreneurship starts with that. An entrepreneur means a successful entrepreneur has a dream, take risk, has passion, has guts. And all these ingredients make you a strong, successful entrepreneur. But the main thing is you start with a big dream, and you will become big if the dream is big.
Now, a lot of let's say, especially here within our region, the entrepreneurs, they always think of and I've heard this actually in many discussions, the last competitiveness forum that was held in Riyadh last January. They always think of getting a loan to start their entrepreneurship program. Loan is fine, but it's not always the solution. I have actually a personal experience of my own.
You have a loan. What if you get the big loan and then the company is bankrupt?
Exactly.
So it starts with that big dream. You need to make it concrete. You need to make it measurable, and then you need to develop yourself, because if you need to have clients. That means you need to communicate effectively with your clients. You need to know about how to manage your people, how to manage launch your new product, how to design your product, how to sell it, how to manage their business. So many things are important, but the main thing is it starts with a vision, a strong vision. And what I'm doing is I'm helping executives to define the mission, to redefine themselves, define the mission, and make that vision a reality, translate it in strategies, and how to implement the strategy. It's not only taking a loan. This is just one small element in the implementation of your strategy.
With these words, Dr. Hubert, we are coming to the end of the program. Dr. Hubert Rampersad, thank you very much for joining us.
Assalamu alaikum again for the audience, and thank you for having me.
We'd like also to thank Mr. Abdul Malik Al-Asiri, the main producer of the program, also the director of the program, Badr Al-Anazi. Till meet again, have a good and a pleasant time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.